Right. They don't even understand that you don't. You know, the way we grew up, you're supposed to spend no more than 10 or 20% of what you make.
50 Cent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars, so he does not understand where the money went, how Lil Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross after he got out of jail.
Look, 50. Boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long?
Lil Meech didn't just cross 50 Cent. He allegedly made off with $10 million and teamed up with 50's biggest rival to do it. This wasn't some minor disagreement. This was a betrayal straight out of a movie script. After everything 50 did for him, mentoring, protecting, even paying for his rehab, Meech flipped the script and left 50 cold. No warning, no loyalty, just straight up disloyal moves.
Just being with him everywhere, seeing nice things all the time since I was born. So I always knew that he was doing something. I mean, I don't know, it could have been anything. So
he was able to do it because, you know, like financially, I was supporting the idea and I believe he could do it. He had moved to California and was working with acting coaches, and his dad didn't know that he was actually doing that.
And now, Rick Ross is in the mix. Yeah, that Rick Ross, the man 50's been beefing with for years. With private texts leaking and industry chatter flying, 50's not just dealing with a personal betrayal, he's got a full-on war brewing. But let's rewind a second, because before all the drama, 50 blessed this man with the opportunity of a lifetime. When he cast Demetrius Lil Meech Flannery Jr. to play his own father, Big Meech, in the hit series BMF, it wasn't just about casting a familiar face. It was about rewriting the kid's future. Meech wasn't even in the acting game. He was just another rapper trying to get noticed. Nobody in Hollywood was calling his name. But 50, he saw potential. He believed. He paid out of pocket to send Lil Meech to acting school for 2 whole years. That's love, that's investment, that's family-level commitment, and that's not all. While the cameras were rolling, 50 was wiring money straight to Meech's family behind the scenes, making sure everyone was good. According to 50, he didn't just throw Lil Meech a bone, he helped secure over $5 million in clean, legit cash. Not street money, not shady deals, real, legal paper, the kind you build a future with.
And got me before I even knew I could even act at all, before acting was even a thought. My dad called me one day and told me that he wanted me to fly to Atlanta in his presence so I could meet 50 for the first time and see the first casting that he was doing. You know, so I flew out there and it was lined around the street. And the first time I met 50, you know, it was just genuine. And I sat by him and we actually got to watch people audition for a couple hours. And the next day he called me, 8 o'clock in the morning, woke me up. I'm like, damn, 50 calling me. So I answered the phone, he like, hey, what you think about going to acting classes? I want you to play your dad. And at first, you know, it sounded crazy, but of course, you know, I'm gonna do it. I'm not doing nothing, so of course I wanted to do it, you know, I just didn't know it.
And this wasn't just some TV role. 50 had big plans lined up. We're talking spin-offs, movies, long-running seasons. If it all clicked, the BMF brand could have raked in anywhere from $30 to $50 million over time. That kind of flip would have changed the whole legacy, turning a street empire into something that could stand tall in the corporate world. And while all this was happening, Big Meech was sitting behind bars, watching his son shine, his name back in the spotlight, but this time, not in mugshots or headlines. Primetime TV, red carpets, interviews, and none of it would have happened without one man, 50 Cent. Not a lawyer, not an old crew member, a business-minded boss who resurrected the BMF name and put it on a whole new level. He made it iconic again, but with a clean twist, and set up the next generation to eat off it legally. But here's the crazy part. 50 stayed humble through all of it. No bragging, no interviews flexing about what he did. He kept quiet, never asked for credit, and didn't even blink when people overlooked his role. That silence lasted for years, until now. Because something's clearly changed, and everyone's asking, why is 50 taking this so personally?
Boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long? I know you want to make your mama one of them walking stars thing. Put down there. Your mama live her own walking star. We call it renderings. You had the renderings Then you try to go get them loans and ain't nobody loan you that money. You ain't even built the G Unit studio yet. That might be why when I stood next to Meech, your knees buckle. Your knees buckle. Put your back against the wall. You're hustling.
Why does this betrayal sting so much? The word on the street, he was really banking on that money. That wasn't just an investment, it was part of his future. And Rick Ross, he picked up on that pain real quick. He didn't just clown 50, he went straight for the jugular. The real shakeup hit in October, when Big Meech finally walked free. The man who once ran one of the biggest street operations in American history was out. And everybody was waiting for that iconic reunion with 50 Cent. Folks were expecting photo ops, press runs, maybe even a BMF documentary co-signed by the real Kingpin himself. But what actually went down caught everybody off guard, even 50, because Meech didn't link up with the man who kept his legacy alive. Nah, he stepped out with Rick Ross. Yup, that Rick Ross. The same dude who's been locked in a bitter feud with 50 for over a decade. It wasn't some random backstage run-in either. This was full-on promo mode.
50 Cent, let these people know you really admire me. You love my style, the way I dress, the money I get. And let them know that if you really could, you would put all this shit to the side to do business with me and work with me. It's the truth. I know it is. Because when you see me stand next to Big Meech, your knees buckle. Oh, my ops, friends is my ops. I'm my ops, all that fake talk. But when you see my brother DJ Khaled, you hugged that boy and drooled on his Amiri.
Car shows, events, a flashy welcome home concert. And Meech, he was all over Instagram, posted up with Rose like they were lifelong homies. But here's the kicker. Not one single mention of 50. No tag, no thank you, no love shown at all. After everything 50 did for the BMF brand, he didn't even get a head nod. That wasn't just betrayal, that was cold. Straight disrespect, and people say it felt way too calculated to be an accident. 50 didn't clap back immediately, but if you know him, you know quiet ain't peace. It's just the calm before he lets the shots fly. And that's when the question started. Like, where did all that money go? Because according to 50, the family was set up with over $5 million in legal clean money from the show. That's not street hustle, that's real revenue. He even called it out, posting, "Why old boy didn't look out for me? I'm the one who sent him to acting school." Big screech. That's what 50 started calling him. He went all in on Meech, saying none of his people on the outside ever held him down, and when he finally got out, he came home acting like he was the second coming of Pablo Escobar. But 50 wasn't letting that slide. He reminded everyone that he's the one who helped Meech's family make over $5 million in clean legal money. And now that it's all gone, he's like, don't blame me.
Yo, bosses all bosses. And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, wherever you got, I'm trying to make you go up.
Then came the real jabs. 50 said Meech wanted to shine so badly, he was out here rocking the baby's jewelry, like literally wearing another man's chain just to keep up appearances. B, give the baby back his jewelry. That's the level of petty 50 was on, and the craziest part, despite all that flash, Meech was reportedly broke. And Lil Meech, same story. So strapped for cash, he started doing personalized promo videos online for just $500 a pop. That's right. The guy who once led a hit show is now out here doing shout-outs like a local club DJ. 50 couldn't help himself. He jumped on Instagram and clowned him hard. Big screech. Got Meech doing promos. $500 a pop. Get you one while it lasts.
But if 50 Cent gives your family, $5 million in cash, whether it's through acting, I think he was paying for acting lessons for Lil Meech, you gotta have some appreciation. And before more details unfolded, like $5 million, because people were like, oh, 50 Cent doesn't pay people, he's always suing people. Look how he paid Ghost from Power less than Mary J. Blige on Power Book. But if Lil Meech got $5 million and he's nobody except the son of somebody famous, then he definitely could have treaded carefully with this Rick.
But 50 didn't stop there, not even close. Just when folks thought he'd reached peak trolling, he dropped the wildest move yet, a whole GoFundMe page. And who was it for? Big Meech. Now let's be real, there's a very strong chance 50 made that thing himself just to be messy, no matter who made that GoFundMe. Once 50 Cent posted it, the internet exploded. The fundraiser straight up claimed that Big Meech needed help covering his bills, including a wild $30,000 a month Airbnb, and of course 50 couldn't just post it quietly. He added his own messy caption, "Help Big Screech pay his $30,000 a month Airbnb. That's one of P's cribs. Shout out to Quality Control." And just when you thought he was done stirring the pot, 50 spun the block again, this time pulling 42 Doug into the mess. He posted that Doug allegedly gave Big Meech $100,000 and 50 had something real shady to say about it. "Your daddy, my ninja. You made a mistake giving Screech $100,000. You could have given that to your ninjas. You always been hard-headed." That set Doug off. He clapped back instantly on IG, refusing to back down. He stood firm for Meech and his city, saying, "Can't no ninja convince me to go against Detroit. Either show me Big Bra a rat or shut the F up talking to me." It got heated, fast. But the real question still lingers. How does a man with one of the biggest names in the game, tied to a hit TV series, end up begging for rent money? Well, Tony Yayo might have dropped a major clue. In a recent interview, he claimed that after Big Meech got out, he was actually going around asking Lil Baby for help, like legit asking the rapper for financial support. Now let's get into Lil Meech, because instead of cooling the fire, he's just throwing gasoline on it. According to Tony Yayo, Lil Meech is out here burning through cash like it's poison, dropping $100,000 on Chrome Hearts jeans, $500,000 on a BMF chain, and flexing Richard Mille watches like money grows on trees. Meanwhile, his dad's allegedly struggling to keep up with rent, and this man is out here dripped in designer. It's not adding up. And when 50 unfollowed him, Lil Meech had the nerve to catch an attitude. Like, bro, you're mad because the man who built your whole career got tired of the clown behavior? Yayo said it best, it's giving broke with money. But here's where it really gets wild. The word on the street is, 50 wasn't mad about the money being spent. He was mad it was being wasted. No plans, no investments, just blowing racks for the gram. No future moves in sight. And just when you thought 50 had maxed out the petty meter, he hit the ultimate flex. Rumor has it, he bought the halfway house Big Meech is legally required to stay in. Yeah, you heard that right. The same Big Meech who once ran a billion-dollar empire, who had entire cities and politicians shook, is now, allegedly, paying rent to 50 Cent. And of course, 50 couldn't keep that to himself. In an interview, he smirked and said, "Business is business."
As we know, Meech didn't actually leave for the halfway house. He's on home confinement because of the First Step Act and winning his 821 motion in federal court. After spending nearly 20 years in federal prison, Demetrius Big Meech Flannery left the federal prison in Coleman, Florida, Coleman Low, on October 15th for home confinement. Now, before you say I don't know what I'm talking about, it says right here that he's in the RRM in Miami. He's actually on home confinement. It says RRM because the RRM, or the halfway house, or really the re-entry manager, is administering his home confinement in Miami through the halfway house that's owned by dismissed.
Then he dropped the hammer. I put that ninja on toilet duty, cleaning up felon-ish all day. So technically, Big Meech might be out of prison, but he sure ain't free. And fans, they're loving every second of it. One even said, 50 is a real savage. Always stood on business. This is the greatest burn I've ever heard. 50 makes my whole month. That's what fans are saying. But not everyone is buying the story. Some folks think this is classic 50 Cent trolling at its finest. One critic even said, "This story right here is complete and utter BS." According to them, Meech might not even be staying in a halfway house at all. But let's be real. This is 50 Cent we're talking about. The king of petty. The man's got the money and the spite to pull off just about anything. Whether it's true or not, when 50 moves, people believe it, because he's that wild. Meanwhile, Lil Meech made it loud and clear where his loyalty stands. He hopped on Instagram and posted, "Before I asked God for anything, I made sure I asked him to bring my father home to my family. My prayers were answered. I love you, Dad. Death before dishonor." That last line, yeah, that was a shot. It was Meech letting the world know he's done playing the middle. No more balancing between 50 and his dad. He's riding for Big Meech Sr. all the way, no matter what. But here's where it gets real shady. It's looking like they're now trying to milk the BMF brand with none other than Rick Ross. And let's not forget, Ross never did a thing to keep BMF alive when Meech was behind bars. It was 50 who carried the name, built the show, and gave it life again. So when your sworn enemy suddenly becomes your family's new business partner, that's when it gets personal. Ross didn't waste a second. The minute Big Meech got home, he slid in smooth, like a snake in silk. Rick Ross wasted no time. He jumped into Big Meech's return like it was a world tour kickoff. Started hyping a welcome home concert, got Meech to co-sign it, and launched promo like the legend was back to reclaim his throne. But let's not kid ourselves. This wasn't about celebrating Meech. Ross saw an opening, and he played it cold. He threw a little check at Meech, slapped his name on a few flyers, and turned him into a pawn in his beef with 50. This wasn't about loyalty, it was calculated. A spite move dressed up as respect. And 50, he saw straight through it. But guess who else 50's got major tension with? Floyd Mayweather.
I look at the computer say, Floyd said, yeah, Nelly 50. I'm like, what did he say me for? Nelly your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fiance, said that.
Yeah, their beef goes way back, and it's far from squashed. So when Lil Meech pulled up to Lucky Strike Miami with both Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather, that wasn't just a night out. That was a shot to the chest for 50. And it gets worse. Meech wasn't just tagging along. He came through on business. He showed off exclusive pieces from his Red Letters X Once collab, personally gifting Mayweather some of the merch. All while Big Meech made a surprise cameo over the phone, chopping it up with Ross and Floyd like they were long-lost brothers. Then Floyd took Lil Meech car shopping, flex move, and after that, jewelry shopping, because why not flex even harder? They even hit the arcades, laughing, posting up, living like there was no drama in the world. And just to top it all off, they ended the night courtside at a Lakers game, chilling in LA. You already know, 50 Cent does not play when it comes to loyalty, so seeing Lil Meech hanging out with not one, but two of 50's biggest enemies, that lit the fuse. He jumped straight on Instagram, posting a clip of Meech with Rick Ross and cracking jokes in classic 50 style. You tell your pops I'm a lookout. What's the address? I'ma send some wings over there. Savage. But just like he always does, 50 deleted the post shortly after, but by then, it was already doing laps online. But here's the thing, this one hit deep, because to 50, this wasn't just about clout or money. This was about loyalty. He didn't just fund Lil Meech's acting career, he might have saved his life. According to 50, things behind the scenes were getting real messy. He posted that Meech wasn't just out here blowing through stacks, he was blowing up on set, allegedly showing up high, out of it, and acting wild. 50 wrote, I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with me and Mimi's relationship. I'm telling Mimi I don't want him doing doctor. He's telling him he used to do X, like it's cool. I tell Mimi chill, stop spending all your money. He telling him how much money he blew. People don't know, I had to send Mimi to rehab. Then 50 dropped another bomb. He claimed that Lil Meech showed up on set so faded, even his co-star Russell Hornsby picked up on it. According to 50, Lil Meech showed up high on set, not once, but bad enough to make it impossible to ignore. He claimed Meech even threw up during a weapons test, and that's when things got really wild. 50 said, then Ian told me the Lil Ninjas had whippets in his truck. He was confused, like, what even are whippets? Turns out it's that stuff people inhale from canisters. Same thing they use in airsoft and baby guns. Not just irresponsible, dangerous. To back his story, 50 even posted a video of Gene Deal, the former bad boy bodyguard, co-signing the claims about Meech's on-set behavior. He wasn't just telling stories, he was backing it with receipts. 50 says he sent Meech to rehab, quietly, paid for everything out of pocket. No press, no social media drama. He tried to keep it private to protect him, but now, that loyalty's long gone. And when 50 cuts you off, he really cuts deep. The moment he realized he'd been played by the whole family, he snapped. He jumped back on Instagram and dropped another haymaker, this time dragging Tammy Cowens, Big Meech's former business partner, into the mess. 50 posted a screenshot of their text convo where he asked straight up, did Meech know you were allegedly snitching while he was locked up? Her response, yep. The caption, Tammy Cowens, the truth and nothing but the truth. Coming soon book. But he didn't stop there. He attached that screenshot to a carousel of BMF stills. And here's where it gets super petty. He literally blurred out Lil Meech's face in every single photo, scribbled out the lead actor of his own show like some scorned ex deleting pics off their camera roll. Peak 50 behavior. And there were even more now deleted posts that had fans scrambling to keep up. Then came the texts. And Lil Meech was straight up begging 50 for forgiveness. In the messages 50 posted, Meech Jr. said, They just told me you unfollowed me off Instagram. Now you mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only shown love and loyalty. I'm human. I go through my own stuff, but I never switched up on you. But then he tried to flip the blame, throwing his own father under the bus. Meech added, Ross, he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life. But for 50, that apology came way too late. He clapped back with just 4 cutting words. What next season, little ninja? And fans took that as the nail in the coffin, like confirmation that BMF might be done. Not just the show, but maybe Lil Meech's whole acting career. Because you can't keep making money with someone you can't trust, and 50's made that crystal clear. And now people are starting to connect the dots. Big Meech made his position loud and proud. He's all in with Ross, not 50. But what if this wasn't just some betrayal from the outside? What if Big Meech was sabotaging his own son? It sounds wild, but the theory is picking up traction. And when you lay out all the messy moves, it doesn't seem that far-fetched. At first glance, this looked like standard industry beef. 50 being petty, Ross being shady, Big Meech chasing a post-prison check. But if you step back, this might not even be about business. That right there is that deep, unhealed parent energy, where your child's success starts to feel like your failure. Instead of being proud, you feel replaced. And instead of cheering them on, you start sabotaging, acting out, burning bridges your own kid still needs to cross. And that's the real tragedy. This could have been the ultimate redemption story. A father and son flipping the legacy, building a real empire, rising together. But instead, it's starting to look like the slow, bitter fall of a dynasty. A man came home and tried to outshine the very son who kept his name alive. And in doing so, he might have dimmed both their futures. With 50 Cent stepping away, BMF is barely hanging on. Stars hasn't confirmed another season, and 50 already warned it might be the last. And Rick Ross, he might be posting up like a power player, but legally, he can't touch a BMF film. 50 owns the rights. So no matter how flashy it looks, the damage might already be locked in. But now here's the million-dollar question. Did Lil Meech really snake 50 for $10 million? Or was this a setup from the very start? Big Meech pulling strings from behind bars the whole time. Was this just one big betrayal disguised as loyalty? Or did 50 simply bet on the wrong one? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear everything. And if you made it this far, sound off in the comments. Was this sabotage or survival? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you want more deep dives like this.